I'm not angry anymore. Well, sometimes I am. I don't think badly of you. Well, sometimes I do. It depends on the day, the extent of all my worthless rage. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm syrupy sweet. I rot your teeth down to their core if I'm really happy.
I'm gonna take a video. Do a peace sign.
This Christmas, I returned to Woodstock, Georgia to be with my family. My family's house is backed up to a forested area, and my dad is the new president of the HOA, and he agreed to clear out the area of the underbrush because it had become quite overgrown and no one's really taken care of it in a while. So, for the Christmas season, my job was to clear this out. I did this at first with a sort of grinder that would chop up all of the big logs and turn them into wood chips, and any of the small shrubbery would also get ground up into something that could be reconstituted by the soil. Of course, the particular machine we were using was old. It had a little bit of a faulty belt, and it wasn't always super operational.
Depends on the day if I wake up in a giddy haze. Well, I'm not angry. I'm not totally angry. I'm not all that angry anymore.
I also personally got involved in the replanting of some old bamboo that I had. So I put them in little jars. I cut up the stalks and I put the best parts that were still new growth into little jars. I tried to make sure that they had as much light as possible. And eventually, over time, you started to see a few roots growing on the stalks. Eventually, the machine that we were using to grind up the wood did break, and so we had to find a different way of eliminating the shrubbery. So I turned to a fire that was kept in a metal can and tried to generate enough heat to burn all of the shrubbery. It was a little hard at first to get the fire going, but once it was going and you could blow it on it a little bit with a leaf blower, it was roaring. I mean, I was hot. It was December weather, and I was still hot just from the amount of heat this thing was generating. I'm not sure it was safe. I burned holes in a few clothes, to be honest. But it was good, and eventually we ended up with a pretty cleared out forested area. You can actually walk around in the without getting tangled up in leaves.